sekarang mau pergi ke gereja. Ini di sini namanya Megil. Hai Mimi. Halo. Kita mau ke gereja sekarang, namanya People Church.
Oh, good.
Sekarang kita udah sampai di People Church. Sekarang kita mau masuk.
Just took place, buildings still smoking and everything, and they go through the town, and then Jesus stops on the other side, and he turns around to his followers, and he begins to teach the Sermon on the Mount. And the way that the show depicts it is that he begins the Sermon on the Mount with these words. He says, "You've heard it said, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, that you may be your children of your Father in heaven." It goes on then as the scene progresses to talk about, you've heard it said, eye for an eye, I tell you to not resist an evil person. It's a very poignantly set scene. And though it's probably not literally how it was said, it's certainly Jesus spoke and existed during that time in Israel against the backdrop of violence, against the backdrop of atrocities being committed against the Israelites, and oppression really, really very, very prevalent in the land. So when Jesus comes and says, love your enemies, God also wants us to have that same moment of clarity where he asks us the question, do you understand what kind of God I am? Do you get it? Do you get who I am, what I am like? Because you need to understand it. You need to grasp it. He wants us to see his heart. He wants us to see his way of doing things. It's important It's especially important that we don't judge Jonah, not only because God doesn't do that, but because his actions, I believe, are actually quite understandable. I can relate to his way of thinking and feeling. When you look at the story and you understand the history behind it, he had a lot of reasons to be angry at the Assyrians. He had a lot of reasons to hate. They very much deserved punishment. They have done more than enough to warrant being objects of God's wrath and destruction. They have done awful things to other human beings. So Jonah's objection may seem petty and childish, and in some way perhaps it is, but in many ways it is not. This robs someone of their identity. It robs someone of their value as a creation of God, and instead places this false image in your mind of who they are, and you use that to go further and to justify your abuse, to justify your neglect, because you say that's what they deserve. Because that's what they are. They are this monster. They are this awful thing. And because they are that thing, I can abuse them, I can neglect them, and it's just, it's right. It's not bad that I do that. This is how this type of anger works. And Jesus is warning us in the strongest way, saying, it's a poison. It's a poison that will blind you. You will be completely free.
Oke, sekarang kita sudah selesai ibadahnya di People Church di Gereja di Kanada. Terima kasih sudah menonton. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. And jangan lupa di subscribe, and kalau suka boleh di like. Okay, see you in the next video. Bye bye.
Bye.